Randy Meisner, whose vocal range helped catapult the Eagles to fame, has died. The soft-spoken bassist added high harmonies to classics like Take It Easy and...
When Randy Meisner passed away, the rock world was overcome with sorrow. Fans remembered him as a unique voice, someone who played a crucial role in the Eagles' success, yet slipped away quietly and alone in the end. Amid the wave of mourning, Don Henley finally spoke out. But what he said was far more than a simple tribute to his former bandmate. Henley revealed things he had never shared about Meisner, the tensions within the band, the moments behind the glamour, and the hidden struggles that had never been made public. His words shocked fans. Was their relationship more complicated than everyone believed? The truth about those years was finally coming to light, and it could change how the world saw Randy Meisner forever. Randy Meisner, often called the Forgotten Genius, was born on March 8, 1946. In Scottsbluff, Nebraska, a small town surrounded by vast fields and a life rooted in farming. There were no grand stages or state-of-the-art studios, just open land. Wind and nights so quiet you could hear insects buzzing under the moonlight. His family worked in fruit farming, a profession that required patience and dedication. But from a young age, Randy was drawn to something far beyond harvest seasons. Music found its way into his soul through old radios playing Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and the Everly Brothers. He didn't just enjoy listening, he wanted to create. As a teenager, he began on guitar, but it was the bass that truly unlocked his rhythm. There's something special about playing bass, Meisner once said. You're not just playing an instrument ear, connecting with the music, keeping everything running smoothly, almost as if destined. He decided to leave Nebraska to pursue what he believed was his true calling. Los Angeles in the 1960s was a paradise for dreamers. Crowded clubs filled with eager audiences, recording studios buzzing with young musicians. Taking chances, and a music scene where talent could shine or be crushed under fierce competition, Meisner arrived with nothing but his bass and a fierce hunger to play. He joined several small bands, scraping by through scattered gigs, until joining the Poor, a short-lived rock group where he first began to attract attention. His real turning point came when he was invited to join Poco, one of the pioneering bands of country rock. Founded by Richie Furay and Jim Messina after Buffalo Springfield's breakup, Poco wasn't just a band, it was an experiment, a new blend of country and rock that hadn't been heard before. Meisner became a key part of their sound. His soaring vocals added emotional depth, and his bass lines anchored the music with a steady pulse. But as Poco's first album neared release, an internal conflict erupted, and Meisner left the band at the most critical moment, taking his voice with him as he searched for a new musical home. Not long after, he joined Rick Nelson in the Stone Canyon Band, formed by rockabilly legend Rick Nelson. This period was essential for Meisner, giving him not only performance experience but also the chance to learn from one of the dot. Rick Nelson was one of the biggest stars of his era, and he was a perfectionist, demanding precision in every note. Meisner, with his humble nature and strong discipline, adapted quickly and grew under Nelson's expectations. During this period, he gained a deeper understanding of how a band truly operated, how an artist sustained a long-term career, and how to make his voice genuinely connect with audiences. Yet even with everything he was learning, Meisner still hadn't found the place where he truly belonged. Fate opened a new door in 1971, Linda Ronstadt, one of the most prominent female country rock singers of the time, needed a backing band for her tour. Meisner, along with Don Henley, Glenn Frey, and Bernie Leadon, was invited to join her. Their chemistry was instant, natural, and undeniable. After the tour ended, the four musicians decided to form their own band, the Eagles. If Poco had been an experiment, the Eagles were the masterpiece. They didn't just blend country and rock, they elevated the mixture into something sharper, cleaner, and more refined. Among all the elements that made the Eagles extraordinary, Meisner's voice was one of the most distinctive. Many people don't realize that before Don Henley became the band's primary vocalist, it was Meisner who held the highest vocal range and the most emotionally charged delivery. But he never sought the spotlight. He preferred to stand in the background and let the music speak. when Take It to the Limit was released. The world discovered another dimension of the Eagles. They weren't just Henley and Frey. They also had Randy Meisner, the man with a voice capable of pushing emotions to their breaking point. Meisner never craved power or control. He loved music in its purest form. And that may have been why he struggled to survive in a highly ambitious band like the Eagles. From the outside, the Eagles seemed like one of the most successful groups of the 1970s, with timeless hits, record-breaking albums, and sold-out tours. But inside, things were far less harmonious. Despite the smooth melodies they delivered to millions, tension ran beneath the surface. From the moment Meisner joined, he was different from Glenn Frey and Don Henley. Frey was assertive, driven, and authoritative. Henley was sharp, intelligent, and willing to take control to ensure perfection. Meisner, in contrast, simply wanted to play music, interested in competition, leadership, or internal politics, though he was a founding member and a major contributor. To the band's success, Meisner never held equal influence with Frey and Henley. During recording sessions, he often had to accept their decisions, even when he disagreed. He wrote or co-wrote several songs, but he had little say in which tracks made it onto albums or who performed lead vocals on singles. As the band's fame skyrocketed, his role slowly diminished. Everything came to a breaking point during the 1977 tour. By then, the Eagles were at their commercial peak, with Hotel California dominating charts around the world. The tour stretched across the US and Europe, but it also intensified tensions that had been simmering for years. One of the highlights of each concert was Take It to the Limit, the song Meisner performed with his signature soaring falsetto. Audiences waited eagerly for him to hit those stunning high notes night after night. But Meisner was exhausted. His health deteriorated as the tour dragged on. He suffered from pneumonia, and his voice grew hoarse, making it nearly impossible to reach the song's demanding climax. Despite his condition, the band insisted that he perform Take It to the Limit every night because it had become a staple of their shows, a moment fans refused to miss. Take It to the Limit remained a mandatory part of the Eagles' setlist. But during a show in Knoxville, Tennessee, Meisner refused to perform it. He felt he simply couldn't reach the high notes in his condition. Glenn Frey, known for his ruthless intensity, immediately lost his temper backstage. A heated argument began. Frey accused Meisner of disrupting the show and pushed the confrontation further with harsh words. Tension exploded into a physical altercation. Meisner, usually calm and reserved, finally snapped and fought back. No one knows precisely what happened in those moments. But everyone understood one thing. This was the breaking point. Meisner later reflected, everything was just too tense at that time. I was being forced to do things I didn't want to do. I couldn't enjoy the music anymore. I felt like an outsider in my own band. In a 1981 interview, he admitted, I could have made 3 times as much money if I had stayed, but I was just too tired of touring. It's a crazy life when you live at twice the normal speed. When it came down to sanity or money, I figured I'd rather have my sanity. Shortly after the fight with Frey, Meisner announced he was leaving the Eagles. Publicly, the band claimed he stepped away to spend more time with his family, but many believed he had little real choice. The truth was that Meisner no longer felt he belonged. He was exhausted by conflict, drained by the constant pressure, and, perhaps most painful of all, deeply hurt by the sense that he was no longer respected as an equal member of the group. Whether he truly wanted to leave remains unclear. Had the relationships within the band been healthier, or had he been treated more fairly, maybe Meisner would have stayed longer. But given everything that had unfolded, his departure felt almost inevitable. After he left, the Eagles continued climbing to greater heights, bringing in Timothy B. Schmidt to replace him ironically, the same musician who had replaced Meisner years earlier in Poco. Meanwhile, Meisner's own life grew increasingly uncertain. Leaving the Eagles in 1977 sent Meisner into a chapter he wasn't fully prepared for. He immediately launched a solo career, releasing his self-titled debut album in 1978, though it included notable songs like Hearts on Fire and Bad Man. The album failed to achieve anything close to the success he had known with the Eagles. To the public, Randy Meisner wasn't yet a standalone artist. He was still the guy from the Eagles. He continued releasing albums through the 1980s, but none made a major impact. Meisner was never the type to fight aggressively for fame or commercial dominance. He simply wanted to make music. In an industry as ruthless as the music business, artists like him, quiet, gentle, and uninterested in power, often end up forgotten. When the Eagles disbanded in 1980, each member carved out a different path. Frey and Henley built hugely successful solo careers. Joe Walsh remained a respected force in rock. Meisner, without the same level of support or industry machinery behind him, drifted further into obscurity. When the Eagles reunited in the 1990s for the Hell Freezes Over tour, Meisner was absent. He later said he was never formally invited. Rumors suggested he declined due to concerns about his physical and mental health. Whatever the reason, his absence marked his quiet separation from the band's future. By the early 2000s, Meisner's health had deteriorated significantly. He struggled with bipolar disorder and severe alcohol addiction. No longer performing, his life became a stretch of isolated, foggy days. Despite his declining career, he found comfort in his marriage to Lana Ray Meisner, whom he married in 1996. For a time, she was his greatest support. But even their relationship was turbulent. Friends recalled intense arguments, especially when Meisner's drinking spiraled out of control. By 2015, his condition had become so serious that a court ordered him to receive special medical supervision for his safety. Randy Meisner cared for his own safety. But the worst blow came in 2016. His wife Lana Ray Meisner died from a gunshot wound at home. Police said she shot herself by accident. She reached for a gun in a closet. The event soon caused debate. People questioned Meisner's mental health then. Some thought he played a role by mistake. Officials called it an accident. Randy Meisner was a former Eagles band bassist. Police labeled Lana's death a strange mishap. It happened in their California home. After she died, Meisner fell apart. He vanished from public view. He stopped all appearances. For many, this proved darkness had taken him. He once helped shape the Eagles. Glenn Frey died in 2016. The band kept touring. Frey's son filled his spot. No one mentioned Meisner. No one asked him to return. The music world and old bandmates left him behind. On July 26, 2023, sad news hit rock fans. Randy Meisner died at age 77. Complications from COPD caused it. His life mixed rock highs and lows. He left quietly like his last decades. No big stages. No bright lights. Just memories of his high notes and Take It to the Limit. His death stirred old questions. How did he get along with the Eagles later? What did Don Henley think after all these years? In the days after, friends shared grief. Colleagues spoke out. Don Henley stayed quiet at first. He stood by Meisner in the Eagles' best times. His silence made fans wonder. Was he sad? Or were words left unsaid? Then Henley issued a statement. He called Meisner key to the Eagles. Meisner had a special voice range. He gave heart to Take It to the Limit. That song touched millions. The words rang true, a nod to an old friend. Later, in a Rolling Stone talk, Henley shared a memory. One night after a show, Meisner sat down. He said he wished he never joined the Eagles. He hated fame. He would pick life as a carpenter in Nebraska over rock stardom. Meisner faced personal struggles then. He loathed what fans called big-time success. Henley skipped the fights. He ignored Meisner's hard times in the band. No talk of the 1977 tour clashes. No word on how they pushed him out or kept him from later get-togethers. He just shared that chat and Meisner's regrets. For many, it showed respect. Past issues aside, Don Henley honored his old bandmate. Maybe some pain stayed hidden. Henley's words held a hint of regret. He had never admitted it before. No matter how fans feel, one fact stands out. Randy Meisner's death stirred up old tales. It made survivors face the past. This time, Don Henley spoke up. After Henley's note, Other Eagles members shared thoughts on Meisner's loss. Joe Walsh shared deep sadness. He called Meisner a skilled artist with a standout voice. Timothy B. Schmidt, who took Meisner's spot, paid tribute to. He said the Eagles needed Meisner for a strong base. Even past rivals spoke well of him now. For the first time in years, fans saw Meisner's real part in the band. He was more than a quiet bassist behind Henley and Frey. He brought strong vocals. He helped build the band's success. His songs last forever. Take It to the Limit still stirs crowds to tears when it plays. After leaving the Eagles, Meisner faded from view. Reunion tours skipped him. He missed big band events. Yet he shaped their key years. He watched them succeed without him. Meisner stayed humble. He shunned the spotlight. That trait made him stand out in fans' hearts. His work shaped their sound. He set their style. He helped craft lasting hits. His steady bass lines endure. His heartfelt singing lives on. Meisner did not need late praise. His music proved his worth. As long as the Eagles play, as long as his songs sound, Randy Meisner's name stays alive. Are you a Randy Meisner fan? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and hit notifications for new videos.